When you talk about real defense, I think it comes down to four things. First, you need a solid half-court defense, players who can guard tough matchups, switch on anyone, and actually talk to each other on the floor. That's number one. Number two is full-court defense, being able to sprint back, set up, and not let the other team score easy buckets. Number three is rebounding, because let's be honest, if you can't grab the board, you didn't actually finish the stop, something way too many people ignore. Number four is defensive playmaking, getting steals, deflections, turnovers, and killing possessions before they even get going while giving your offense more chances. To me, those are the four pillars of defense. And the truth is, the Lakers failed at every single one of them last season. I mean, look at defensive rating, they were 17th overall last season, and that's after jumping up from an ugly 21st before Jared Vanderbilt came back and before the trade deadline. Then there's transition defense, where they were just embarrassing, ranking 25th in fast break points allowed and giving up 17.1 per game. On the glass, they were just as bad, sitting in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounds per game and 21st in defensive rebound percentage across the league. And to make things worse, they barely forced turnovers, ranking bottom 9 with only 7.7 steals per game. Basically, they didn't generate enough turnovers, weren't disciplined in the half-court or full court, and let opponents grab way too many offensive rebounds that turned into easy second-chance points. In short, they didn't do anything well or consistently above average on defense. Sure, there were flashes, but nothing that lasted. Moments, and did obviously do enough to be a top 3 seed, but it didn't translate to a deep postseason run. It didn't translate to prolonged success on defense and something that was actually sustainable for their team. So they do have to make a change, and I think they did too. The only question being, did they do enough to make a change? And could it translate to them now being a good defense rather than a below-average defense? I think it actually could if a few things fall in the right way for them. I mean, going back to the four pillars on defense I talked about here again with full-court defense, half-court defense, defensive playmaking, and defensive rebounding. They did directly address every one of those, and well, beginning with the half-court defense, adding a guy like Marcus Smart did a lot for that. I mean, to be a good half-court defense, you need not only versatile defenders, but disciplined defenders that have shown the ability to be consistent on defense. Adding a guy like Marcus Smart did a lot for that. Adding another reliable big like DeAndre, who may be inconsistent but has proven to be a strong defender, gives them an actual upgrade in the frontcourt and as that last line of defense. That's a real improvement. So now they've addressed both the backcourt and frontcourt with proven pieces who can deliver when they're locked in. Even someone like Jake LaRavia could help, since he's flashed solid moments and could be a versatile wing for them. Overall, they've shored up their half-court defense, kept guys like Jared Vanderbilt healthy to start the season, and have Marcus Smart ready as well. Plus, Luka Doncic dropped weight and looked more committed to defense during Eurobasket. To me, they clearly worked on their half-court defense, which was already their best defensive area last year. Making that area even stronger could easily push them into being well above average. For full-court defense, with many of the names I just mentioned and Marcus Smart being the main one, you finally have a guy who actually commits to sprinting back, organizing the defense, and flat-out yelling at teammates to haul their ass back and get set. That's what he does, that's what he's always shown, and it's a huge reason his teams have defended well in transition. He'll be a major factor here, and it should help immediately. So between the half-court and full-court defense, there's plenty of reason to expect real improvement moving forward. Then for rebounding, I think they actually made a huge fix by adding DeAndre Ayton. Sure, he can coast defensively and not always bring the effort night to night, but one thing you cannot question is his rebounding. The guy has literally never averaged under 10 rebounds a game in his entire NBA career, including last season when he was top 10 in offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and total rebounds per game, which will absolutely help stop opponents from piling up second-chance points. With DeAndre in the middle taking up space, contesting shots, and then actually grabbing the rebound to trigger their offense, that alone makes their defense stronger, and people underrate how big of a deal that is, which is why it should improve. Beyond him, they've got Jackson Hayes, who isn't a great rebounder but works fine as a backup instead of a starter. A healthy Jared Vanderbilt, who's arguably the best rebounding wing in the NBA. Jake LaRavia, who's shown he can be solid on the glass. And with Luka Doncic and LeBron both healthy, you've got two more guys who rebound well when they're locked in. Overall, this team is bigger, more physical, and far more focused on rebounding than in past seasons, which obviously helps limit second-chance points for their opponents. Then finally, for defensive playmaking, like I mentioned in my last video with DLO, even having him helps if needed. But with Marcus Smart healthy, Jared Vanderbilt healthy, and Jake LaRavia in the mix, those three alone average over 5 steals per 36 minutes combined. Add to that Luka Doncic, who put up 1.6 steals per game last season, and if he's fit from the start and actually active on defense, that could easily jump closer to 2 a game. Put Vanderbilt, Smart, LaRavia, plus Gabe Vincent or even DLO if he gets minutes, and suddenly this team has a lot more defensive playmaking. That could push them from bottom 10 in steals and deflections all the way up to middle of the pack or even top 10. So when you put all of this together, there's every reason to be optimistic with their defense. I think they actually hit on almost every major need. They got a stronger frontcourt rim protector, a tougher backcourt defender, more depth on the perimeter, and overall more versatility. Basically, they covered every pillar I mentioned: half-court defense, full-court defense, playmaking, and rebounding. They clearly made an effort to address each one, and at least enough where the defense should improve a lot. But I'd be lying if I said there aren't some big ifs attached. The biggest one is health, and for this roster, that's a serious gamble. Jared Vanderbilt, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and DeAndre Ayton are all players they'll rely on, and all of them have a history of injuries. Last year, Smart only played 34 games, Vanderbilt played around the same, and LaRavia barely cracked 70. But that was actually the first time he's even played more than 35 games in a season. DeAndre Ayton barely cracked 50 games. Rui Hachimura didn't play a ton either. Luka Doncic dealt with injuries last year, and LeBron has had his share over the past 5 seasons. So yeah, the injury concerns are real, and that's the biggest if with this group. If Vanderbilt can stay healthy, if Smart can stay healthy, if their main defenders can even stay on the floor, that's priority number 1 for them to get better defensively. Beyond that, another question is how JJ Redick will manage the defense and balance the rotation. Will he actually make lineup changes? Will he try to adjust the rotation to boost their defense? Because if you look at their starting 5 right now, it's not exactly built with defense in mind. I mean, DeAndre Ayton might be a slight upgrade, but outside of that, there really wasn't much change. And this team still needs one. A more versatile, stronger defensive option. Someone like Marcus Smart or Jared Vanderbilt should fill that, but the key is actually staggering them instead of throwing both off the bench at the same time. Keeping one of them on the floor basically all game would do way more for the defense. The question is, will Redick make that adjustment? Will he realize it right away, or drag his feet before making it? And then, will he put guys in their actual defensive roles? Last year, Vanderbilt was forced into the wrong role because they lacked size after the trade deadline. But now with Ayton giving them more height, will Redick let Vanderbilt go back to being that defensive pest on the perimeter, guarding the toughest matchup and wreaking havoc near the three-point line, instead of sticking him around the rim? Will he actually make that change? Will he develop a guy like Jake LaRavia and squeeze real defensive value out of him? Same with Marcus Smart and others. How exactly will JJ Redick manage this defense? And does he even have the ability to improve it, even with new pieces that should, in theory, help? That's the bigger question. Putting everything together, there's reason for both optimism and doubt. With the additions and by hitting the 4 main areas of defense, they clearly did a lot to fix it. But big question marks remain: health and durability, rotation balance, maybe even changing the starting lineup, and whether guys are put in the right defensive roles. You can point to any of these and argue either side, whether it's a strength or a weakness for them. From either an optimistic or pessimistic point of view, it's all up for debate. So what do you think? Will the Lakers defense actually improve next season, stay the same, or somehow get even worse? And how do you feel about JJ Redick's role in making it happen or not? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's gonna wrap it up for this one. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next upload. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day or night.